Check, squad, welcome back to IGHQ. You could call me COMM, and today I'm excited to be going over the surface of Season 16, something Respawn is calling a new era in the Ehpex games, and they're titling it Revelry. So get ready to celebrate with massive changes coming to the core of the game, like the legend system, to the new team deathmatch mode, or the new weapon Respawn hopes to take down the R301 and Flatline as the top spot. But not only will we further discuss the surface of the season, we'll actually be diving beneath the surface to discuss some of the patch notes, quality of life changes, and bug fixes to hit us this season. So we'll definitely have our hands full as we celebrate in the games with Revelry. So let's get into it. Instead of giving us new legends this season, we got updates to the current legend system, as you can see here. They break it down into 5 classes, each with its own unique perk, and now every legend in that class will have access to that perk. So most commonly known is Lifeline and those blue crates, how she can open the bottom compartment. Well, now everyone in the support class will have that ability as well. So Lifeline, Loba, Gibraltar, and Newcastle will all have that ability. They've also increased the chance on large heals in those blue bins and have a new survival smart loot system for the bottom compartment that will increase the chance of heat shields if you're outside the zone, or increase the chance of a respawn beacon if you're carrying a teammate's banner. They do say though that the logic has an internal limit and will not trigger if you're already carrying either the heat shield or a revive beacon. The support class, however, can now also craft their teammates' banners even if they're expired. For the cost of 30 materials, that banner will contain all available legends to revive, and it's something we've been asking for a long time, so I'm excited to see that implemented. But that's just the first out of our 5 classes. We also now have the controller class. These are our trappers and defenders, Caustic, Watson, Rampart, and Catalyst. Their class perk is the ability to use these ring consoles, as you can see on the screen, to, well, locate the next zone, find their spot, and trap up. Now you might be thinking, what about the other survey beacons? Well, those are now specifically used to scan the entire map for 30 seconds, revealing all enemies on the map. All legends within the pulse range, however, will be alerted that a survey beacon has been used. That being said, only legends in the recon class can use these beacons. These legends include Bloodhound, Crypto, Seer, and Vantage. Next, we have our Skirmisher class, including Wraith, Valkyrie, Octane, Horizon, Mirage, and Pathfinder. These legends get the Skirmisher perk of spotting incoming care packages to see their highest valued contents, ping them before it touches down, or if you're just within range, you can even spot a care pack. You can also clearly see if other legends have taken something from the crate. It's going to turn gray, so that might help you decide where you want to rotate from that information. Last but certainly not least, we have our Assault class. Bangalore, Ash, Fuse, Mad Maggie, and Revenant. They say the Assault legends are always prepared for a fight, so now able to gear up quickly from hidden compartments in the weapon supply bins. You can see they also have an extra spot here, and this is going to contain 4 smart loot attachments for you and your team's loadout. 1 loot slot is reserved for optics. Chances for magazine and hop-ups are lower than other gear. If the secret compartment is open while no one on your team has a weapon, it'll actually drop a weapon with 2 attachments for it, and the minimum tier of all attachments is rare, so a huge upgrade there. The Assault perk also allows those legends though to stock more ammunition, a full extra stack of light, heavy, energy, and then a reduced half stack for shotgun and sniper ammo. But those are the 5 classes and their perks. It'll be a bit of adjustment, but I'm excited to see these changes. They also say they'll monitor feedback and keep making updates to these classes to make sure they're balanced and fair. You'll notice with these legend changes though, both the select screen and lobby screen has kind of been updated to indicate these changes. So definitely let me know what class your legend falls under. For me, it's both Bloodhound and Seer. I'm kind of playing that recon role apparently. And being able to scan those beacons, give my team 30 seconds of intel on those enemy locations, either in the heat of battle or to locate our next one, really works for me. But moving on, Respawn says here, ever since the launch of Control, Legends have gravitated toward it for different reasons. Mostly though, to warm up before jumping into the BRs. So, as one of the highest requests became a demand, Respawn answered, and a fast-paced, kills-only team deathmatch mode was created. So Revelry and Eduardo Silva really outdid themselves, they stepped it up, but let me quickly break it down for you. Here's how it works. You have 6v6 alliances. You get to pick your loadout on spawn. You can swap your loadout or legend, of course, while respawning. Shields automatically regen. It's 30 kills to win a round. First alliance to win 2 rounds wins the match. You can swap your weapons between rounds, and also you can collect airdrops mid-round for stronger weapons. This will be on its own unique playlist, however, and is definitely here to help Legends warm up, test new Legends that they unlock, or just have fun. A playlist called Mixtape will be here, and for the first 3 weeks it's just going to be TDM, but then cycling with it will be Control and Gun Run on a 15-minute cycle on the best maps. They've even added a new orientation match system meant to create an easy introduction where players can get their bearings and learn the core mechanics of Apex Legends. They say you can play solo or bring friends to take out some bots before joining the regular matchmaking queue. So every legend was level 1 at one point, so don't stress it with the sweats. Chill and kill with some bots, and pretty soon you'll be better than me. It's not saying much, but hey, you will be. So with Revelry, there was no new legend, but we did get a new weapon, which we haven't had in a while. This weapon, Respawn claims, should dethrone the R301 and Flatline, so this should be super exciting. A new energy AR, the Nemesis. This is a 4-round burst weapon that as you fire, it'll decrease the time between the bursts, speeding it up to simulate a fully automatic weapon. A new toy is always fun to play with, and speaking of, they've made some changes to the firing range that'll help you really hone your skills, so let's take a quick look at those. They've added options to customize your firing range experience. Dummies can now strafe left and right. You can control how fast they move, whether they're crouched, and their shield level. The dynamic stats appear anytime you deal damage, letting you track your performance. Hit indicators help you keep track of spray patterns. Unlimited ammo means no more trip backs to the gun racks to reload, so that's awesome. They say this is just the first of several rounds of updates to the firing range though, and that they'll keep an eye on how the community uses the tools. But as the new season approaches, we of course have the new Battle Pass to work through, and might I say, I'm loving the color palette. Of course, if you make it to the end of the Battle Pass, we're going to get the new ReactiveSkin for the Mastiff, so check that out. Celebrating our 4th year and starting this season with a collection event, actually a community-themed track, 24 limited times cosmetics, and shards up for grabs. So start saving and get ready to celebrate with this new era of Apex Legends, Revelry. Don't forget you can get 2 free legends, each with their own thematic pack, just for logging in, so now is a great time to get back into the games or start your journey with Apex Revelry. I know it's been a long one so far, and I appreciate you for being here. Everything is timestamped down below, so if you're looking for certain facts, they are there. That was basically the surface of Revelry, but we're going to dive beneath the surface now and look at some of the patch notes, legend changes, and bug fixes. Leave a like if you've enjoyed the video so far, and let's keep it going. Starting with the care pack rotation, nice and simple. The Hemlock is going into the care pack, and the Rampage is coming back to the floor loot, so good little change there. Quickly onto the weapon crafting rotation. The Longbow DMR enters the crafter, and the Volt SMG enters the crafter, but the G7 comes back to the floor, and the Car SMG comes back to the floor, so RIP Volt. Now looking at the gold weapon rotation, the Nemesis, the new AR, Rampage, PK, Wingman, and R99, so some nice shinies there. They've also added in a legendary shotgun bolt. This new shotgun bolt rarity tier added to floor loot and crafters. The gold perk automatically reloads rounds while sliding and activates while equipped or stowed. Speaking of pop-ups though, they did actually remove the anvil receiver hop-up completely from floor loot and crafting, and then the hammer point rounds for the Mozambique and P2020, they've been added to floor loot and the crafting, and the rarity tier has been increased to legendary. As we move on now to some weapon changes, we see the Car SMG reduced base ammo capacity to 19, it was 20. The R99 has been increased damage to 12, it was 11. Assault rifles across the board significantly reduced hipfire accuracy, RIP. But looking at the R301, it has reduced damage down to 13, it was 14. Another AR to see a buff though, because it's going into the care pack, is the Hemlock. So the damage has been increased to 23, up from 20. The headshot multiplier increased to 1.8, was 1.75. It's got improved recoil and an integrated boosted loader hop up. That boosted loader now faster reloads at low ammo that overload the magazine with 9 extra rounds. Looking at the shotguns, we have the Mastiff, the spread pattern adjusted to be tighter. They've added tactical stock adjustment to improve reload speed and handling, and increase projectile size at close range. The Peacekeeper, they've added tactical stocks attachment to improve reload speed and handling, and increase the projectile size at close range. And the EVA 8, increased projectile size at close range. And lastly, for our weapons, of course, the Rampage coming back to the floor loot. It's been reverted to the non-care pack version, so the damage has been reduced to 26, it was 28, and it no longer auto-energizes when picking it up, and the energy decays slower when not firing. Moving on now to our legend changes to happen in Revelry. We'll start with Seer. His passive, the heartbeat sensor. Audio from Seer's passive is now more audible to enemy players. The activation is now delayed to match the animation of raising a weapon. The lock-on indication will now only show on heartbeat cadence of target. The tactical no longer shows full body scan on the scanned targets, and the ultimate no longer reveals on initiation. The duration has been reduced 30 seconds down to 25, and the cooldown has been increased from 120 to 180. So a bit of a nerf to Seer, but let's take a look at the next legend. That's Bloodhound, checking in with his passive, the Tracker, White Ravens. Ethereal White Ravens will now occasionally spawn near Bloodhound when no enemies are around, so that's pretty cool, additional Ravens. White Ravens can now be interacted with or scanned to trigger them to fly towards the nearest enemy player. The White Raven will leave a misty trail behind for Bloodhound to follow, and will share this direction with his team on the map. Using a White Raven will recover 25% tactical / ultimate charge, and scanning a White Raven will fully refund the tactical charge. Looking at his tactical, Eye of the Allfather, they've reduced the full body scan time from 3 seconds down to 1 second, and the diamond target on scanned enemy is unchanged. His ultimate, Beast of the Hunt, it will no longer recharge or speed up the cooldown rate of Bloodhound's tactical. It'll launch a White Raven that flies towards the nearest enemy, and killing an enemy while in Beast of the Hunt mode will also trigger a White Raven. Moving on to my boy Mirage, looking at his passive, now you see me. Mirage and his ally now remain cloaked after reviving for 3 seconds. Weapons remain stowed while cloaking. Drawing your weapon will remove the cloaking effect early. Mirage clones, the bamboozles now only triggered by bullet fire and melee. Enemies who are bamboozled now receive notification on their screen. Bamboozle icon markers now track the bamboozled player's movements, and bamboozle icon marker duration increased from 2.5 seconds to 3.5 seconds, so a little bit of a buff to our boy Mirage. But moving on to our boy Pathfinder, his passive, Insider Knowledge. So since Pathfinder no longer gets his benefits by scanning the survey beacons, Pathfinder now gets a benefit when he reveals the care packages using the Skirmisher perk. So if you do, it's going to reduce your ultimate cooldown by 10 seconds. And looking at his ultimate, the zipline gun, the max range has been increased by 60%, the max speed has been increased by 66%, acceleration and exit speed adjustments, targeting improvements, including updated visuals and audio cues, and you can no longer place an end station on the out-of-bounds zones. As we look at Wraith now, her ultimate, the Dimensional Rift, the max portal distance has been doubled up to 152 meters, so that's pretty cool. The portal duration, however, has been reduced from 60 seconds down to 45 seconds, and Wraith now increased speed over time when creating longer portals. Looking at Horizon, her tactical, the Gravity Lift, you now have an increased weapon spread in the Gravity Lift and increased vertical speed of the Gravity Lift by 10%. So you're going to go up a little bit faster and it's going to be a little bit harder to shoot on. But lastly, we look at Lifeline. Her passive, the Combat Revive, has been reduced to slow penalty on lifeline when initiating a revive, but her ultimate, though, the care package, they've actually decreased the drop animation speed of the care package from 14 seconds to 8, and they've increased the deployment range of the care package. The Live API 2.0 has officially been released, so this API has a built-in mechanism for listening to gameplay events and programmatically interacting with Apex Legends. So support for WebSocket server connection, support for protocol buffers to send and receive data, configuration through both command line and JavaScript object notation, the JSON. There's 12 new API requests, including 2 gameplay requests, the change camera and push toggle, and 10 lobby requests specifically for custom matches. Our quality of life fixes are as follows. They've added map rotation previews to the game mode selector in the lobby. Players can now be any team in Gun Run. They've increased the odds of becoming Team Nessie in Gun Run. Team Nessie is now viewable for all teams. Added new indicator on the HUD unit frames for the rating leader in Control. Consumables now show a progress bar for teammates next to their unit frame on the HUD, similar to reviving. Adding damage to the scoreboard in Control. Increased minimum distance between airdrop replicators and other airdrops. Map features when accessing the full map now reflect currently selected class perk info. Additionally, the hot zone map feature description is removed from the full map while the hot zone is hidden from the map. When in the firing range, players will now regain full health and shields when they reselect their legend in the legend select menu. They've added abilities to ping for an optic, even if an optic attachment slot is filled. Slightly increased audio for enemies attaching, riding, or detaching from zip lines. And they've added credits to items inspired and designed by creators. Lastly, we look at our bug fixes, and I really hope we have some audio fixes here, but we'll just speed through the list. They have a fix for Crypto's drone reticle not being centered when on 1610 resolutions. A fix for players not being able to emote if they were dead during the champion sequence. For Control, they fixed an issue where the MRB disappears if the player holding it leaves the match. Various UI bugs and improvements to the private match flow. Various bug fixes to some cosmetic items. A fix for the weapon camera in the loadouts tab not resetting to the correct position when exiting a weapon from the charm subtab. A fix for footer buttons in the seasonal quest not being clickable. Fix for the player's crosshairs being present sometimes during the champion sequence. The hide hints option no longer hides the waving person icon on items your teammates can use. They fixed a bug where if a team was empty in Gun Run, the HUD would display incorrect information. They fixed some emotes where the camera would sometimes pass through walls. They've removed an exploit that allowed players to remain out of bounds longer than intended. A bunch of fixes for Seer here. We see a fix, an issue for Seer's ultimate where it could be crushed by swinging doors. A fix where Seer's ultimate and Crypto's drone could block large sliding doors. A fix for cases where Seer would have issues scanning Crypto. A fix for Seer's passive heartbeat sensor so that it works through Catalyst's ult when placed on uneven surfaces. And lastly, the fix for Seer's tactical where you get users stuck in it while they were crafting. For Valkyrie, they fixed a bug where her animation warps in the in-flight meal emote. Newcastle, they fixed a bug where the ultimate was not refunded or is not placed if a user is getting hit with Seer's tactical right when using it. A few fixes for Crypto. They fixed an issue where his drone would be destroyed when he's knocked but not eliminated. They fixed a bug where Crypto's drone scanning can block catalysts from reinforcing doors. They fixed a case where his ultimate stops from deploying if Crypto gets downed. Looking at Catalyst, they fixed a bug where her tactical makes it difficult to interact with zipline, death boxes, and loot bins. They fixed a bug where players were unable to use melee attacks through Catalyst's ultimate. A fix for an issue where players could be stuck after being hit by Seer's tactical while in the crafting station. They also fixed where Crypto would not be scanned by Seer's tactical when piloting the drone, and the drone was not able to be hit by the tactical. Looking at Vantage, they've reduced the number of accidental tactical activations on controller when pulling out and putting away her ultimate with the bumpers. Vantage, they've also increased the visibility of Sniper's Mark by adding an on-screen prompt similar to scans, and using her tactical in areas blocked by Geo can result in the player getting launched into the air. They fixed an issue when Newcastle's ultimate was interrupted, it would not correctly refund his ultimate. Fixed an issue where Newcastle will continue to target allies while phased with his ultimate. They fixed another rare issue where Newcastle's tactical could get hung in the air and not deploy. They fixed an issue with the black hole that allowed it to pull players through walls and around corners incorrectly. Fixed an issue where swapping legends in the firing range would crash if bleeding out as a Revenant. Fixed an issue where swapping legends in the firing range while in Crypto's drone would crash. Fixed an issue where Newcastle's ultimate could fail to deploy on landing. Fixed an issue where a spectator swapping between two players being healed by the dock drone would crash the spectator. A quick fix for Lifeline, they fixed the ultimate cooldown appearing to need 101 charge. They fixed an issue where the ultimate ready prompt could appear while the player is still skydiving. Fixed a bug where the previous season's ranked is being showed on enemy gladiator cards. Reduced the accidental launches on controller. For the DX12 they fixed missing error pop-up on launch for unsupported hardware, and they also fixed an issue where some emissive textures would not appear in third person. That does bring us to the end of the video, squad, so again, I appreciate you for being here. I hope you learned something about Apex Legends Revelry. I know I'm excited. Usually I do 2 videos, but I'm a bit sick, and they gave us all the information, so I was able to do the surface and beneath the surface with the patch notes in this video. So again, drop the like, feel free to subscribe for more content like this. But squad, we will see you in Revelry, shooting some baddies with the Nemesis, checking out the new class changes, and having some fun. So I hope to see you there live February 14th. Again, I'm COMM, you've been great. Stay safe, stay gaming, and I'll see you in the next one.